If you struggle to generate easy power and spin on that forehand side, well, here's the truth. It's probably not strength, and it's probably not even effort, and it's definitely not because you just need to swing harder. Most players, they don't lack power, but they lack the right fundamentals for how the game is played today. So in this video, I want to show what forehand power actually comes from, and actually show why so many players are chasing the wrong thing. What power actually is. In tennis, power is not muscle. This is why we don't have any major bodybuilders winning the majors. A powerful forehand is built when energy is created in the body, and then that energy is transferred through the body efficiently, and then it's released at the right time. When that sequence breaks down, players, they try to compensate by swinging harder with the arm. And then as soon as that happens, you now have tension, mishits, inconsistency, everything goes downhill. So instead of asking the question, how do I hit harder? A better question is, how do I move and sequence better? Now, before we go any further, let's map this out clearly, because power doesn't just magically happen or appear in the hand. Rather, power travels. So if you watch all of the best players, they have this strong base and their power starts low. The power starts in the ground, and then that power travels through the legs, hits the hips and the torso, and then the shoulders join in and the whole body is going in. And then lastly, you have that arm that lags back here and that gets thrown forward, and then the racket tip, which is the fastest part, that comes on through. Now, if any part of that sequence fires too early or too late or it's too stiff, guess what? You're going to be leaking out power. Fundamental number one, rotation, not pushing. One of the biggest misconceptions in tennis is where power comes from. A lot of people think that power comes from pushing the ball, from arming the ball, and maybe even stepping forward into the ball. But that's not really true for the modern game. Now, stepping forward, that of course helps with a little bit of momentum, some balance, and that's all good. But in the modern game, power largely comes from the hips and the torso unwinding together. And that rotation creates speed and force before the arm ever even engages. This is true in baseball, this is true in slap fighting, and it's certainly true in tennis. So if your forehand feels arm heavy, like you're having to really force and push that shot, it's probably missing some element of a really good rotation, or maybe it's just happening too late. Fundamental two, lag and elasticity. Now here's a big one. A powerful forehand always has lag, but it's not because you force it. So when the hips and the torso, they rotate ahead of the arm, what you're going to get as a natural byproduct is the torso fires and then the racket will actually lag behind. When that happens, you're going to get this stretch. Consider this rubber band. Now granted, this is not a rubber band, this is a hair tie. It's the only thing that I could find, and it does me very little good, but I think it serves this purpose well. When we take this hair tie and then pull forward, we create tension, we create stretch, and that stretch is storing energy. Well, the same thing is true on our forehand and quite a few other strokes. When the hips and the torso, when they fire forward, we have stretch happening. And then at the back part here, this is our arm. This is the racket. When that stretch happens, energy is stored, and then the energy flies forward. Well, that is what's happening here. We go, we load. From the ground, we have all of this energy firing forward. The legs fire into the calves, the quads, and the hammies comes in through your hips, and the hips come forward, and the core and the torso rotate, and the shoulders come through. All of that energy, wave upon wave upon wave. And then last but not least, that arm adds in. It gets pulled forward. The racket flips, and then all of that energy comes through and is released. Right through the shot. You see, the secret to the pros hitting so hard isn't that they have the biggest muscles, it's that they're using hundreds of muscles without leaking any of the energy that each of the muscle groups gives into the shot. Sequencing, it's so complex, it's so difficult. They make it look easy. So no lag means no whip, and no whip means you're gonna be stuck muscling that ball. Fundamental number 3, looseness is not optional. A lot of people hear relaxed and they think that means sloppy, but it does not. Rather, looseness is necessary for that energy to flow. Now here's a good example. I remember back when we were young, we would go find a towel and we would roll that baby up. You already know what's coming, don't you? We would go find some poor, unsuspecting sibling, and then we would sneak up on them and go, "Woo!" And if you did this right, you could actually take off skin. Well, tennis is the same way, because in the whip, you have to be super loose, the arm and the wrist. You've got to be able to let that energy flow through, and then at the right time, pow, pop it. Same thing on almost every tennis stroke. The forehand, we have to be so loose, and the sequencing has to fire at the right time in the right way, unleashing all of this power. And then at the right moment, we release all of that energy through the ball, and then we hit a monster, heavy, deep, penetrating shot. Fundamental number 4, swing path plus spin equals safe power. Now, spin is not just for control. Rather, this is the thing that allows you to swing fast and keep the ball in. A modern forehand uses a parabolic swing path. It's curved, it's upward and around. That shape gives you margin over the net, and it pulls the ball down into the court. So if you're trying to always hit flat power, you're actually limiting how fast you can swing. So spin, it's not a bonus. It's actually the currency of modern forehand power. Why this gets taught wrong? Now, many players are taught forehands that look fundamental, but they don't really produce power. Rigid arms, linear swings, finishes that are really, really tight. And those ideas made sense in a different era of tennis, but they don't match how the game is played today. And the result, players work hard, they swing harder, but they plateau faster. What to focus on in practice? So if you want more forehand power, we need to make a shift. Instead of asking, am I swinging harder? Let's ask these 4 questions instead. 1, does rotation start the swing, or does my arm? If your arm goes first, well, then your power is capped before the racket even moves. 2, does the racket lag naturally, or do I feel like I'm forcing it? Now look, forced tension is still tension, and tension is not good. So it does no real good to force that tension like this. We have to be super, super loose so that when the body goes forward, we get that beautiful swing. Number 3, can I swing faster without tightening my grip or arm? If speed creates tension, well, then we're chasing power instead of releasing it. And 4, can I aim higher, swing faster, and still bring the ball down with spin? If not, it's spin, not effort, that's the missing piece. So here's the key idea. If power feels like work, then something upstream must be broken. When rotation leads, the arm stays loose, and spin creates margin, and power shows up on its own without us having to force it. Here's a thought. You should study the pros, and you should try to copy them. But here's the catch. The most important parts of their forehand, they often happen too fast and too subtly for the naked eye to catch. So what looks like easy power is actually precise sequencing. What looks like arm speed is rotation, lag, and the release. And what looks simple is the result of the right fundamentals working in the right order. So don't just copy the positions you see, learn to recognize the sequence underneath them. If you respect the physics and you respect the order, we're not going to have to go searching for power. Power will just be a natural byproduct of the right fundamentals. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped. And as always, if it did, be sure and click that like and/or subscribe button. We got a whole lot more videos coming out for you soon. But until then, thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you on court soon.